Ninna nanna mamma, tienimi con te, nel tuo letto grande ancora per un po'. Una ninna nanna io ti canterò, e se ti addormenti mi addormenterò. Ninna nanna mamma, insalata non ce n'è, 7 le scodelle sulla tavola del re. Ninna nanna mamma, ce n'è una anche per te, dentro cosa c'è? Solo un chicco di caffè. Dormono le case, dorme la città, solo un orologio suona e fa tic-tac. Anche la formica si riposa ormai, ma tu sei la mamma e non dormi mai. Ninna nanna mamma, insalata non ce n'è, 7 le scodelle sulla tavola del re. Ninna nanna mamma, ce n'è una anche per me, dentro cosa c'è? Solo un chicco di caffè. Quando sarò grande comprerò per te tante cose belle, come fai con me. Chiudi gli occhi e sogna quello che non hai, i tuoi sogni poi mi racconterai. Ninna nanna mamma, insalata non ce n'è, 7 piatti d'oro sulla tavola del re. Ninna nanna mamma, ce n'è uno anche per te, ci mettiamo su tutto quello che vuoi tu. Ci mettiamo su tutto quello che vuoi tu.
Oh, let's rise above. Let's rise above. Let's rise above. Seeking access.
Yeah, classiche. 1, 2, 3. Love, acts of love, bringing folks together from different places, coming together while in different spaces. 29 countries and 30 faces, trying to stay cool in each other's graces, traveling the world in a ginormous broom, flying through the atmosphere, going zoom. Warriors of the heart, del corazón, searching for some art. That's mi amor, moments coming up, so let's go, it's our place to start. So that's never, never wrong, but we're stuck in a cage. Una caja, try to channel rage, mucha rabia, with the world in turmoil. Going loco, we find a new stage para todos breathe. News getting me crazy, trying not to be lazy. Everything looks so hazy, so let's come together to rise above. Casting out a line, seeking acts of love. Acts of what? That line should be cut. Acts of what?
Kärlek, Selke,
Amour.
Amor. Amor. Liefde. Agape. Amor.
Ay. Amor.
L'amour.
Love. Selke. Ay. Amor. Ay.
Escuchando tanta gente que se muere todos los días enterrados. Tíos, tías, padres, hermanos. Duele, duele tanto. La pregunta que me hago es, ¿por qué esto está pasando? Why is this happening?
Hello, thank you for coming to Acts of Love Dreamscape Night 2. This is our culminating event. I've been so blessed to help facilitate this international group, and tonight, to introduce it made me think about in college, I heard about a tribe in southern Malaysia called the Sonoy that believe dreams are real. And they actually, what I read in college was just that, like, if I had a dream where I hurt you, when I wake up, I need to go to you and give you a gift. And if I have a dream that you hurt me, when I wake up, I gotta go to you, tell you about it, and you gotta give me a gift. They would have their children, they would gather around their children and listen to their dreams. And if the child dreamt about invention or a poem or a song, they would try to get behind and sing it or make it. I also remember this business with the flying and falling. When a child was falling, they tried to get the child to think about it as moving towards the source that's drawing them and turn it into flying. We've tried to create like a really just comfortable environment to get personal and try all different forms, not just acting, but writing and filmmaking and composing music and dance and choreography and directing and also exploring things that aren't funny, like loss. And that makes me think of, before we start, that amazing quote by Maya Angelou. And I believe what it was is that my pain sharpens my pencil.
This May, my mother in Japan got sick and was hospitalized. It wasn't COVID-19, but something else. Despite the doctor's positive reports saying that she could return home, she suddenly passed away in June. I was not allowed to fly during those days because I'd have been confined for a total of 18 hours in the airplanes. There was a danger of me getting infected with the virus. Even if I'd have decided to fly, I'd have had to go through 2 14-day quarantines, and still, the hospital would not have allowed me to see my mother. I wrote this song for her. My classmate, Kevin, was creating a beautiful accompaniment, but he got injured and couldn't finish it. So I'll share only a part of the song in an a cappella with you today. I think there are many people who have suffered from similar experiences. In the morning, in my shallow sleep, I hear your voice calling me in that familiar tone. Wake up, my sweetie. In the sunshine, in my long, long walk, I whisper to you, finding the cosmos dancing in the wind. See them, so beautiful. Why I couldn't fly that day? Why I couldn't hold your hand? I could always fly in my dreams. I could escape from bad people and fly beyond the blue sky. I could swing the endless Milky Way and bring you back a silver starfish. I miss you so, so much. I miss you, my mother. I miss you, my mother.
Жолдурап сені қарап бір адам бар. Жалбарып жүрегіңді сұраған бар. Жаналың жашқа толып тұрса дағы. Дүниеде сені сүйген бір адам бар. Жаналың жашқа толып тұрса дағы. Дүниеде сені сүйген бір адам бар. Мұқансаң мұңды жазар миңа мақал. Мойыбай қылығыңа шыдаған бар. Өзің маңдырсым ал төксі дағы. Дүниеде сені сүйген бір адам бар. Өзің маңдырсым ал төксі дағы. Дүниеде сені сүйген бір адам бар. Күз келіп жалбырақтар құрағанда. Көңілдің кетіктерін сұрағанда. Қыш өтіп махаббату жазда келеді. Дүниеде сені сүйген бір адам бар. Қыш өтіп махаббату жазда келеді. Дүниеде сені сүйген бір адам бар. Дүниеде сені сүйген бір адам бар.
I read somewhere that you can't make up faces in your dreams. It's all just information that you've already taken in. No matter how foreign or strange a person looks, they've been before you before. Even if it was just a quick pass by on the way to coffee, you've seen them before. Face to face, I probably walked past you every day, slipping by your subplots because I've got to be on my way. Faces and faces. Behind your mask, you smile from ear to ear, trying to make me comfortable, yet you're radiating with fear. You illuminate with hopelessness and pop embers of despair, trying your best to make like normal, but your anxiety is all up in your hair. You feel like this experience is your own personal travesty. But this is literally all of our Tuesday. And you feed this egotistical narrative by having the gall to say it's worse for me than it is for you. It's worse for me because that's my truth. No, it's worse for you because all you're feeding on is your apartment walls. And yes, the year that should have been magic is getting incrementally tragic, but we are all here, existing and stuck in this time and in this space. I think this might be a special case where it's all right to be dissatisfied. It's all right to want to leave. It's all right to create a new wheel because the last one went flat. It's all right to dream. And dream up something big, something wonderful, something that'll make the assholes lacking compassion and empathy feel violated. Dream up something so despicable they won't even want to exist in your presence anymore. Dream up rights or privilege for yourself. Dream up equality and freedom and decency and justice. Dream of yourself as more than just a myth. Dream so hard that it scares them. We have to dream so that we can escape this version of life. We have to dream not for self-indulgence, but dream as an act of love. Because if not, we'll start to rattle ourselves with ridiculousness like, is the world mad at me? Because it's hitting me with all this tragedy. The news is like assault and battery. What happened to reporting on NASCAR, the NBA, and Fashion Week? You just wanting to hear my dream is the current form of flattery that I crave. And someday I might just cave. But that's if and only if I am not a fighter. Because I have a gut feeling that someday we'll be brighter, we'll be warmer, we'll have to be lighter. To catch a ride on the hot air balloons of joy and laughter that we'll be riding on together again someday. And I swear to you, if I had my way, those brighter days would be today. But because it's not just up to me, him, her, you, they, but we, I will do my part to make sure that we can see past these nightmares so that we can see the miracle of impermanence. Rest assured, it's not permanent. It's just a bad dream. Waiting to be woken up from, waiting to be created out of, waiting to be hugged and cradled and kissed and loved in person. I want to be loved in person. I want to move with you in person. I want to breathe with you in person. Face to face to face. Not behind masks, but to face you in real life. The face from my dream. We're here dreaming together. No matter how alone it may seem.
So that's my last slide. Here we can see the long line all the way up. And so far, I made all that money for the company, just like selling these amazing glasses. So that's it. Thank you so much. Oh, no need to clap. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Mr. John. That's so sweet of you. Thank you. Yeah. He just reminded me that I started as a secretary, right? Oh my God, that's so long time ago. Oh me. See, I get very emotional right now, looking at the past of my professional life and now. Anyway, so it's interesting, right? Because at that time, nobody believed in me at the time. Is that funny, right? Like, literally, no one believed in me that I could make this company so rich because I am the best.
The Girl in the Park. She sat still on a bench in a lively fall park. Passing by, I saw her and slowed down my pace. Something hit me as if I had seen her before, even though I could not even see her face. The girl was silent and wore high-heeled boots, a white jacket, a scarf around her neck. I kept staring at her and thought to myself, what if she suddenly looks at me back? I can't recall now what captured my eye. Was it her stillness, or jacket, or book? Or maybe it was her posture that I thought had some quiescent and peaceful look. So she didn't move, and I too stood still, to myself thinking, is she even real? When a mischievous yellow elm leaf fell on her hair, on her shoulder, her scarf, she flinched. She turned back. She was trying to catch little piece of the autumnal tree that fell down. And she suddenly looked in my eyes with sad smile, as if she knew I was there all that time. For a second I froze, looked away, and I blushed. With a feeling I knew someone's secret, I ran back home to take off my white jacket and scarf and that one boot with the yellow elm leaf on its sole.
I was walking on the beach on a sunny day. I caught fish and followed it out into the sea.
I heard a mermaid singing pretty melodies. She created all these beautiful memories, and the best one was about you.
I still remember that day with you, but it wasn't all real. I'm just telling you what I see. It's time a fiction for you and me.
Me, if I'm the queen and you're the king, kingdom welcome, as long as we both know where we're coming from.
Winds blow through your heart,
and I knew for sure that it would start. You and me will follow our hearts and get through the deepest fears, no matter what. I will dry your tears. I wipe them well with my heart's warmth, dry your tears. Dancing on the waves, jumping on the fire, falling better. One more time, I will through your scar, we'll swim in the stars from Brooklyn to Mars.
Winds took your tears away, now they are gone and we remind.
From all the things I want to remember, to all the dreams I will surrender. I want to be in a world with you in it. Heaven consumes us with every minute.
Thank you. I remember when I was doing survival jobs that I hated.
No, ma non... muoviti! Muoviti, Dio buono! Ora si mette a piangere.
Sometimes I was going around looking for auditions.
We are looking only for beautiful girl. Thank you. Bye.
Then I got a job in a movie production. I was an assistant. One day I met him.
Ah, ciao, scusa. Scusami, stavo venendo in bagno.
Ciao, no, io ho finito, adesso esco.
Io sono Alessandro.
Sì, sì, lo so, ti ho visto nei film.
He is an Italian actor and director. He is popular for his Sergio Leone-style characters.
Oddio, come si chiama quell'ultimo? No, l'ultimo, il penultimo. Quello lì... Adesso non mi ricordo i titoli.
Non hai visto niente? Ma che cosa fai qui? Insomma, hai detto lavori qui in ufficio?
Sì, io faccio l'assistente al casting.
Ah, fai l'assistente al casting?
No, io faccio l'attrice.
Ah, attrice anche tu? Sei un'attrice?
Sì.
Che cosa hai fatto?
I wanted to be a movie star. And I'm working behind a computer. I want to go to the royal ball. I want to be invited. I want to meet the prince. I was wondering if... I would love to go to the royal party.
Yes, of course. Remember, you have to print the copies, send the emails, and tidy the room. And could you go and buy my dinner, please? Thank you. And remember, go and buy a new dress for the party. I did everything you asked, and I bought a dress. Look. Oh. Beautiful dress. Oh, I forgot. A girl got the last invitation for the party.
You know, sometimes it happens. There's no place for you.
I'm sorry. Maybe the next time.
a long, long time ago. It was a song lullaby. It was a noise, a smell of peach. It was a bubble in the wind. Oh, my little girl, you will find your way and dream. Oh, my little bee, there's God calling in the wind. Where's the sea? Where are the fairy tales? I see just rocks, there's no key. Here my hands, and there an empty chair. Who is passing away? Oh, my little girl, you will find your way and dream. Oh, my little queen, there's God calling in the wind. It was a song for a little thing. Hi, is my driver ready? I'm coming.
I was in my 7th month of pregnancy and I had an amazing dream. There was a man, I can't remember his face, but I clearly remember his voice. He told me that I was special and I will help people by making something useful. When I woke up, I could only remember a few words. Everything else was blurry. I had no idea what the man was talking about. I forced myself to think about it. I forced myself to write about it, but I wasn't successful. Then Daphne was born, and I could finally hold her in my arms and take her home. This was the moment when I had the same dream again, but this time the man's voice was angry. He said, "Why haven't you tried harder to work on the invention? I told you, you must do this. Do it immediately." And he showed me the product that I was to invent. I woke up and the first thing I saw was Nazar. This is an amulet to protect us from negative energy. And because we need to especially protect babies, I put the amulet around Daphne's crib. Seeing this amulet, I could clearly remember everything from my dream. I wrote it down, I shared it with my husband, and the prototype for our invention was born. 1 year later, we had the final product and we applied for a patent. And soon after this, the patent representative called me and she congratulated me and she told me that we would be receiving a patent license. This was the moment when I let myself feel the power of my dream. I believe that this miracle is a gift from our daughter Daphne. Even though I couldn't make a lot of sense of my first dream, Daphne was with me. And when she was finally born and in our world, the dream became clear. What a gift she gave us. What luck she brought. And what a dream.
Sarah, I'm shipping out soon. I don't want to leave like this.
Maybe you should have thought of that before you re-enlisted.
Serving is a privilege, babe. And it's just 6 months. I'll be back before you can count to 5, 6, 7, 8.
That's what you said the last time.
Sarah, dancing on cruise ships is all I know. I can't just quit.
Of course you can. You could literally just quit.
My team needs me, Sarah. I'm their captain. Their dance captain.
And I'm your wife. What happened to Brian wasn't your fault.
He was just a rookie. They put him in that chorus line with barely any warm-up.
It was an accident.
He was so young. Fresh out NYU Tisch. It was a happy birthday flash mob during brunch rush.
Emmett, don't torture yourself.
No one saw the shrimp tray coming. The crash! Brian was on the ground. Cocktail sauce everywhere. I still see the phantom stains in my costume sometimes.
Emmett, he just sprained his ankle.
That is a death sentence for a tumbler.
And what'll happen to me if you crash? I'll just become another cruise ship widow. Like tons of other women. What a cliche. I know it's unlikely, but still.
The thing is, Sarah, I don't know how to be on solid ground anymore. I spent the whole tour dreaming of you, song after song. But once I get here, all I think about is getting back there. I go do my groceries and I find myself shimmying down the aisles.
Honey, you're starting to dance again.
An ambulance blares its sirens, and all I can hear are jazz standards.
Emmett, stay with me.
The rain on my parade.
Emmett, stop dancing! You're scaring me!
I'm sorry, I thought I heard my cue music.
I know, sweetie. It really gets stuck in your head.
That's my ride.
Five, 6, 7, 8.
I was obsessed with the United States. Since I was a kid, I wanted to move here. That was my dream. I just wanted to be here. I can see myself at 8 years old in front of my bookshelf just making notes of the thing that I'm gonna bring once I can move here. I think that's all the movies. I was watching a lot of movies. My favorite ones were Hocus Pocus and The Goonies. Those kids on their bikes. I thought they were so cool. And I wish I had grew up in a town like this. I knew every line of that movie. I would watch it over and over. But I had to be patient. I had to prepare my move. The hardest thing was to leave my mom. I'm an only child and we are so close. But I had to. So when I was 21, I moved to Los Angeles. The first year and a half was super tough, stressful, learning the language, getting my paper to be able to stay here. I had to make it happen, and I did. I had to be serious at a very young age, but it was also exciting. I felt like everything was possible. So once I got my green card, I was able to get my driving license. That was the one thing I needed so bad. I needed a car. In Los Angeles, you need a car. I mean, that was over 10 years ago, so Uber didn't exist back then. So I learned how to drive there, and in 1 month, I got my driver's license. I was working in a club in downtown LA at that time. That wasn't the best neighborhood, and I had to take a train to get there. So I was so done, so ready to never to have to take that train again. And I remember that day because so it was going to be my last time in the train. That's it. I had my driver's license. I had already made the appointments with the dealer. The next day I was going to go buy my car. So here I am in the train. I sat down and I feel my ass is wet. I can still see my horrified face, my hand. I touched my ass, smelled my hand. Oh my gosh, someone had pee on the seat and I sat on it. I wanted to cry, but I couldn't even cry. At that moment, I was just so grossed out. I was halfway from work. I thought about going home for a minute, but no, I had to go work. And anyway, what was the worst that could happen at that moment? Nothing. I remember I was kind of happy because I was like, okay, that's it. You paid your dues. If the universe wanted to test you, done. I passed the test. I deserve to be here. I got out of the train. I had to walk like 10 minutes to get to work. I called my mom. I told her what happened. Then as soon as I got to work, I went to the bathroom, took out my pants, cleaned it in the sink. Thank God I had like work clothes there in my locker. I mean, that moment in the train was truly a nightmare, but I knew better things were coming. And the next day, I went with my friend to the dealer to buy my car. It was a white Toyota Corolla that I had found online. And when I left with my car, it just felt like freedom. Just like those kids on their bikes in the Goonies, on their way to search for the treasure. I was on my way for my own adventure.
Do you ever feel like you were somehow outside of your own body during certain times of your life? Like you were only an observer to what you were experiencing. As if those times had only been a dream. Perhaps they were too horrible to not have been a nightmare. Or simply too perfect to have been real. Just a little while ago, I found myself in one of those dreamscapes. I was wandering the long, dark corridors of my queendom, my asylum, walking my predetermined paths in ever-repeating circles, opening door after door into the same magical environments which were always different. I encountered thousands of curious souls who had all gathered here in the shadows in order to escape, to imagine, to love, to dream. I watched myself turning strangers into confidants, skeptics into believers. adults and to children. Until all of a sudden the lights came on and I was ripped out of my fantasy. There I was, wide awake, standing in an empty room. A room that was once filled with wonder, giggles, tears, and sad songs. All I was left with was a glimpse of a lost world, a message from an already distant dream. And she hastily dried her eyes to see what was coming. And so I did, and walked away, wondering when the next dream would find me.
I found out my dad had on a pinky ring that was strangling his circulation, but he wouldn't let them take it off. The nurse called me and she asked me for my permission to sedate him to remove the ring. I told her, yes, please, and as quickly as possible. Shortly afterwards, I made a phone call to my family back home to keep them abreast of what's going on. They asked me, Maya, you should file for permanent guardianship over your father. And I paused because when we were children, my dad suffered from substance abuse and ended up abandoning my sister and I. The thought of now taking care of him when he didn't do that for us, it brought up a feeling of resentment. But I prayed about it and decided to go ahead and do it. I started the process of filing for permanent guardianship over my dad in the state of Nebraska. He's currently in a men's homeless shelter there with no one around who cares about him. He fled there from New Orleans in 2005 after Hurricane Katrina happened. My goal is to relocate my father here in New York and place him in a good mental health facility. My aunt and I, we're gonna visit him a lot when he gets here. I'm also hoping having my father here in New York will bring my aunt and I closer. My dad is her younger brother, and she really loves her siblings. My aunt and I, we don't have the best relationship because I am trans and she is very religious. Whenever we meet, it's mostly about my father and keeping her informed of how far along I am in the process. One day we met up and she says, I want to leave something for you in my will. I really didn't know how to respond. I wasn't expecting it. It touched me. It made me realize that God works in mysterious ways, and he works through other people to bless you that cares about you. I guess like the way I cared about my dad when I heard about his ring, his pinky and that ring.
Hi everybody, I am Joel, and here is a story for you. So I'm a big fan of soccer. So when I was a kid, I would play soccer pretty much anytime I had the opportunity, like in the morning, at lunchtime, in the afternoon. Like it was like a dream to me, and I loved it, and I still do. So one day after finishing a game in the afternoon, me and a couple of my boys, we climbed up a tall tree and stayed up there for a while. And we were used to doing that thing. And when we are ready to go home, one of us would start a countdown to see who's going to be the fastest guy to get off the tree. So that day, up in the tree, after the countdown, as I was getting off the tree, I fell about 6 feet in the air. My chest and face hit the ground very hard, and I lost my breath, and then I passed out. So when I wake up, I'm in a room and there are lights above my head, and there is a guy trying to stick a needle into my arm. I mean, he is sticking a needle into my arm, and then I fall asleep. Later, when I wake up again, I am in my bed at home, but I have on my right arm a giant plaster cast going from the middle of my bicep up until the middle of my hand. So now I can't play soccer anymore for at least 6 months. I can only watch other kids playing soccer, which sucks. But on top of it, and more importantly, I am in 5th grade and I have a national exam to pass in order for me to get to middle school. And the exam is like in a few weeks, like a month. But I am right-handed and my right hand is broken. So now I have to learn to write as good and clear as possible with my left hand. So I did what I could, but my handwriting was so bad or awful that I was scared that the guy correcting the copies after the exam wouldn't be able to read my handwriting, and then I would fail. So from the day after the exam up until the day of the results, I was like in a nightmare. So the day of the results, they call out the names of those who made it, and if you didn't hear your name, bye, see you next year. So that day the guy was calling out the names in alphabetical order, and my last name starts with the letter B, and that day he skipped my name, my whole name, and then I started to hear the names of my friends, all of my friends being called out one after the other, and they were jumping in the center, they were chasing each other, they were laughing, they were happy, fucking happy with their families, you know. And then I was on the side looking at them and other kids, so I was sad, mad, angry. So I was about to leave the center when they said, we are going to read the second list. So then I turned around and they said, the guy said the first name on the list, and that was my name. And I just lost it in the school. I went nuts with my plaster cast in my arm. And my friends, when they heard my name too, they were like this, and they started to run towards me, and they were so fucking happy. They were happier than I was, and they started to write some shit on my plaster cast. We were all happy. So that day for me, a nightmare was over. Thank you very much.
A couple of weeks ago, I had this very strange dream.
I had a crazy dream last night.
I'm not sure
I
dreamt that
I
I
was
was
so
so
happy.
happy.
There were many people on stage, and those
I started hearing some noises behind me. But the thing is, I was so sleepy that I didn't want to bother, and I was kind of scared, so I didn't want to check and look back what was making the noise. And then I saw a dark figure appear. And the same thing, I just didn't want to check.
I knew someone was here. I could feel the presence. I could feel the eyes on me. I knew someone was here in the room looking at me right now. I knew I had to wake up. And I was just talking to myself. I was just like, Emilie, just wake up. Wake up, Emilie. Just open your eyes. And then here I was. I was awake. I just jumped out of my bed. And I was just looking for that person in the room. It just felt so real.
We're running by this bridge near my house. And as we're running and turning into this forest street, all of a sudden, everything just starts to vanish into white. And she's not even there, and I'm just looking at this vast whiteness. And I just have this quiet, slow thought of where am I going?
I was swimming happily in the ocean. There were many beautiful fish and dolphins around me. But suddenly, everything was turning upside down. I couldn't speak. I couldn't breathe. I was drowning. I kept drowning. I went deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper.
And suddenly something touched my arm, and I looked next to me. It was a purple dolphin, and I realized that he saw me too. And I decided to follow him. And I did, and we swam together deeper and deeper into the water. And the water was becoming darker, thicker, and warmer.
Then they had to drain the ocean for some reason, and I watched the water get lower and lower. And as the water got lower, all these whales came up to the surface. And there were whales everywhere, huge whales right in front of me so I could touch them. And I don't remember what happened next, but I just remember I was so mesmerized by those whales.
Mantelの星空をめぐり白鳥座の十字を目で追って僕たち宇宙に浮かんでるとあなたがぽつりとつぶやく
Yeah! Let's have our cast. Come on. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for coming to Acts of Love, Dreamscape, Night 2. Much love to everybody. Black Lives Matter. And thank you for everything and giving. All right. Mwah. Have a great night, everybody. And be safe. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Woo! Thank you so much. Thank you so much.